All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is your favorite dark sorcerer here. And it looks like I got everything up and running. So let's get down to it. A lot of individuals have been contacting me as of late on two different topics. What are these two topics? The first is Satanism. What is the best books out there on Satanism? And the second is, what books would I recommend on necromancy? So tonight I'm going to just do the book review on the two satanic books that I would recommend to you, the neophyte, the acolyte, the beginner, who is interested or intrigued in Satanism. Okay. And I think that these will not only give you that insight into the satanic mind, but it will also give you the fundamental groundworking that you, as the beginner who wishes to become an adept within the system. Now, keep in mind, not everybody is going to be a Satanist. I mean, everybody loves the idea of free will, to become that adversary. They love playing the bad guy, but let's face it, the left-hand path, the path of Satanism, is not for the faint of heart. It is not one that is easy, where you snap your fingers or tap that easy button and everything magically appears. Okay? So I thought about this for most of the day, and I chose the two best books outside of the Order of the Nine Angles. Okay? And I think you'll like them because, number one, they don't have regurgitated materials like those of the Levian merchandise. Okay. The Levian aspect really has been done to death, much like the grimoire systems over the last 1,000 years. It's just been repeated and repeated and repeated, and it's just been corrupted and thrown out of context. So these two books here are original. They are unique. And the thing I like about them in person, as an individual, is both of these books has a unique spin on what a Satanism is, what a Satanist is. In this case, we're talking traditional Satanism. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, outside of the ONA, the Order of the Nine Angles, and I'll get onto them down the road within a different satanic book review. All right. So why don't we get to this? The first one, I think, is the best one for the beginner. And it's called Tentatio, Diabolus. Okay. And it's by Myrmydon, Pontifex, Maximas. And it looks like this. Okay. This book here is a 3-in-1 book. It's 3 books in one. It is something that has been reprinted a few times because of the fact that, by the author and the publisher, because of the fact that they're trying to add things and they're trying to make it more easier to access, I guess would be the best way to put it. It's still the same material. They just simply added a few things. And the latest one that they did was the Book of the Divine Black Flame of Satan Bible. Okay, that was the cool one because number one, it had the Satanic Oracles, Volume 1 and Volume 2 by Magister Satanito, and it also had the all three books within this one, which is the Devil's Bible, the Devil's Disciple, and the Devil's Coven. Okay. Now, what do I like about this book? Number one, he gives a section on demonolatry, how to summon them, the four basic components for doing that. He also gives us kind of like a very clear and undeniable, you can't even mistake the annotation process that he puts in here over a 3-night process. Okay? 3-night process. Second of all, you cannot deny or misinterpret the regulations, laws, and rules. Okay? In much of the same way as the Satanic Bible by LaVey has, say, for an example, just out of an example here, the 9 Satanic Statements, the 11 Satanic Rules of the Earth, the 9 Satanic Sins, and the 21 Satanic Points. Okay, that's just out of the LaVeyan system. But like I said, we're not talking LaVeyan here. We're talking traditional Satanism. Okay. Myrmydon Pontifex Maximus doesn't just create, he didn't just create an original Bible with the whole kit and caboodle. I'm talking all the jimmies, the flavors, you name it, is all in there. And it's very straightforward. It's very easy for the adept to understand. All right. That is something that I thought was incredible. And then when you get into the satanic, the devil's disciples portion of the book, this is the book 2 of this entire book, you have another undeniable, unique scripture. He doesn't just teach you in the same manner as, say, the ONA. He teaches you how to run an order. He teaches you the ranking system that should be put in place, especially if you're going to have a hierarchy in a coven-based or a temple-based setting. How to run one of these foundations, okay? How to put them together. What kind of statutes you should have. And then by the time you get into book 3, The Devil's Coven, okay, this book is very, very unique. And I can tell you that I have never seen anything this original. Is he really breaks down his own pointers. It's almost like he took from his own personalized grimoire and dubbed it down into a straightforward laws, rules, and regulations. Okay? That is something that you don't see in any order, temple, or foundation today. And the funny thing is that when you get into the second book, which is the Book of the Divine Black Flame of Satan by Vrykolakas Oriax, okay? And this is what it looks like, okay? Let me see if I can't get that glare off of here. There we go. All right, right there. All right. Vrykolakas, Oriax, Magus. I liked his book. He came out just between chapter 1 and 2. And he really dubbed it down. He put it straightforward. He told it the way it was. He told us story number 1 of the original council of LaVey's church and how some of the members saw the change from actual devil worship to that of atheistic coming, and they left. Now, I happen to have an autographed, okay? That's right, an autographed version, handwritten by him. And I really like this because he doesn't just add in various different years of what Satanism is, the viewpoints and how it was seen, the different practitioners of the time that practiced this form of Satanism. But he literally goes in and destroys the misconceptions, or at least the popular ones. He goes into the philosophy of vampirism. And I know this is one of the other topics that people actually approach me on because they know I like Father Sebastian's work. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know, Father Sebastian is the godfather of vampiric covens in New York. Okay. He's actually got his own YouTube channel now, and he's literally doing a lot of videos right now, which was pretty cool. I haven't seen his videos in a while. So he doesn't just go into this stuff as well, but Vrykolakas really gets into what the vampiric practice of Satanism is, how to perform it. He puts his own unique viewpoints upon what it is within a logical, constructive perception. Okay? When you think of debates, you look at, for an example, on YouTube, you can look up Bob Larson's interview with Anton Szandor LaVey. Okay? Anton Szandor LaVey told it the way he saw it. Okay? You get into his daughter Xena and her husband Nicholas, Shrek. Okay? Bob Larson literally showed them no compassion, no respect, no nothing. Okay? And what's ironic here is Vrykolakas really pinpoints the issues within spiritualism, not just in the physical material realms. The testament of Satanic metaphysics, okay, defining Satanism, the seal of Baphomet, and he goes on and on into the presence of Satan, the rituals, the Luciferian gene, the astral projection, communication with the Prince of Darkness. And he even brings in the Enochian keys, which I thought was cool because I actually work with them. And I actually enjoyed working with them, both from Anton Szandor LaVey's perspective, that of Turk Suzij from the Demonic Bible, to, say, for example, going in, well, there's quite a few that actually have used them, so. But anyways, he even goes into the atheist and defines, he literally breaks down what an atheist is and what a Satanist is. He literally takes the time to put you into that mind frame, that train of thought, so that you as the reader benefit by the understanding of the very definitions. Okay? And I really like that. But even more so, he even goes into the old ways, which is something you don't see. I mean, you don't see things from the 18th century. Okay? You don't see things from the the early 19th century or the 20th century. Okay? A lot of people are just throwing stuff together and calling it a Bible. They're calling it a piece of work, something, and this stuff here is something that you don't see very much of, which is why I said it's unique and it's very good. But more so, he literally gets into the nature of black magic, breaks it down, kind of describes what it is, and then he gets into the destroying popular misconceptions within satanic vampirism. Okay, and from that point on, he really breaks it down right up until the very end of the book. And to me personally, when I got to the near the end of the book, I was surprised that he actually put a couple rituals in there. And this was one of them was actually aligning yourself with the darkness, with these beings, with the Prince of Darkness. But more so, he even put forth a destruction ritual that I thought was very, very potent. And I even tried it once. I even used it once on an adversary a long time ago. And I found it to be very, very effective, surprisingly. So if you're interested in Satanism and you don't know where to turn, number one, I would recommend Anton Zandalave's Bible, okay? Because, and this is why. First half of this Bible is right up in your face. It is a philosophical perspective. It is a physical, how should I say this? A physical way of life, okay, through psychological conceptions. Number two, the second half of his book was open for interpretation through rituals, okay? Basically meaning that each and every individual who practices Satanism is going to have a different experience with these beings. Not everybody is going to have the same image of Satan. Not everybody is going to have the same image of Lucifer. Okay? And that is something that I've come to understand over 30 years of practice within spiritual Satanism, through theistic Satanism, and through traditional Satanism. Traditional Satanism being my main focus, okay? Or at least it used to be before I got back into necromancy on a full-time basis back in January of this year. So I'm still practicing Satanism and I'm still applying its principles within necromancy and my own personal practices. But I have found that out of all the books that are out there from that I could recommend to people who want to get into Satanism and have a firm grasp of what Satanism is and is not. How do I begin walking in Satan? How do I dedicate myself to Satan? How do I do a blood pact with Satan? How do I do a pact with Satan or one of his demons, one of his legions? Well, number one, Tentatio Diabolus will teach you this. Number two, when you get advanced and you begin teaching and sharing your experiences on social media, and if you decide to get into, say, authorship, guess what? He shows you a path to running your own order, moving up in rank, moving up in power, but more so, working with your spiritual guides, your guardians. These two would be the first two that I would recommend before I recommend that of the Satanic Bible by LaVey. Okay? Hell, even before I go to Anton LaVey's Bible, which most tend to go by, I would probably send you to Alistair Natch's works long before this, because he really breaks it down into what Satanism is from a theistic and spiritual perspective. Now, if you really want to get into Satanism, you got to understand that there is a lot of variances between denominations: traditional, theistic, spiritual, agnostic, Luciferian, demonolators, and yes, even atheists. Now, personally, I've stated in my own personal videos, I do not accept atheistic Satanists as being Satanists. They're just plain atheistics to me. Okay? And this is why. If you're going to pray to a devil, if you're going to pray to a demon, what's the point of doing so? Utilizing magic when you've already made up your mind that there is no God, there is no devil. Magic doesn't exist because you can't prove it. Okay? Therefore, atheistic does not exist to me, but the others do. Okay? Agnostic, that is a path where you need scientific evidence, but you believe that something else is out there. That is something that is reasonable, because a lot of the mundane people who get into spiritualism are seeking divine intervention. They're looking for that divine touch. Okay, they're looking to connect to something more. 9 times out of 10, they're going to go with the Bible, but that's their choice. Okay, just like it is for you who wants to get into Satanism. It is your choice. No one's going to do the work for you. No one's going to sit there and tell you what to do. Okay, we're not your parents. You have to get off your butt, go out, become self-motivated, buy the material, read it, study it, and apply it to your life, because that's the only way you're going to find benefits to your life, okay, within your life. And when you start working with clientele, it's going to be very evident if you are the real deal or you're just a wannabe, okay? So make sure that you know what you're doing, what you're reading. And it's always good to do your own homework. And I've always said, if you're going to preach on something, always back it up with multiple facts. And two, always make sure that you make yourself available to the public. Okay? Especially if you are becoming a satanic priest, if you are running for the Black Pope position, and most importantly, if you're going to belong to some foundation such as the American Fellowship, okay, which is a group of ministers that got together, that is the only one that is recognized by the United States government as a ministry. Okay. Second of all, you can always go through the Universal Life Ministry or the monastery and become ordained there, because they also deal with Wiccans, pagans, and so forth, even Satanists. Okay, not just they're not just considered a a universal unity type church. Okay, but they will, for a price, ordain you and give you a cover letter for $10. Okay, all total roughly around $40, I think it is. Last time I looked through that one there. But if you really want to become recognized as an ordained minister, especially in Satanism, you really have to work for it. That means applying yourself to the study and the practice. Basically rolling up your sleeves and getting your hands dirty. Okay? And don't believe the fabricated lies of what you think it is, what you've been told, because 9 times out of 10, it is a lie, because people cannot discern between a cult and that of the occult. All right. So with that said, I hope you go out and get these two books. I would recommend looking up George M. LeBolt. He is one of the owners of Severed Heads Publishing. He actually publishes these through lulu.com. Lulu, what is it, lulu.com? I want to say it's similar to like eBay and Amazon, because you can also get them on there as well. But this is like you got Lulu Publishing and then lulu.com. So I mean, you can buy books off there too, I guess. So hit him up. If you're interested in these books, he'll share with you the link and all that stuff, and get you going. All right. So I hope this has been intellectual. Hope it's been educational, enlightening, and I want to thank Shelly333 and Lord Hades, Julia O'Neill, Ross Damon, Beneficium, for coming on with me tonight. I'm going to be doing some more videos over the next 2 days. Hope to see you here. For those of you who are not here yet, but will join in later after the video is ended, I want to thank you for coming on. Feel free to hit that subscribe button if you want. Feel free to reach out and ask questions. I will answer. All right. Have a good day, and until next time.